Hey, this is your intuitive reading with Amy Vasterling from the 17th of May until the 23rd. Okay, let's get into it. What do we want to figure out here? This reading is for anybody who's listening to it. Your energy has been included, and let's see what's going on for us. Okay, the last week I read about chanting and that we were going to chant and let it out of us. Now I see chanting that's going inside and I feel it in the top of my heart. So we're almost as though we're swallowing it and bringing it into ourselves. This idea of the sound, of the vibration that is, in effect, kind of healing or opening up our heart and allowing us to feel safer. And that's a really important piece in today's world is feeling safe. We've come out or are coming out of a system that has left us feeling unsafe. It's left us questioning ourselves. I say in my work, I restore internal authority in those who have been conditioned to override themselves. And that's exactly what we want to do is help people move out of that conditioning, out of that system that keeps them overriding. Well, I don't know about that. Should I do that? I'm not sure. And really the breakdown of that is that we are too emotional and it's not our fault. Like, gee, you're too emotional, you're too sensitive. It's because of the construct of this system that we're in, leaving us unsure of what our needs are. And then when we've asked for the needs that we do know, it gets shut down. And so then we're stuck. We're like, I don't know how to have a need. And of course, that's never going to work out. We need to be in relationships where we can have needs. Even if the person says, I can't meet that need, that's fair. That will help us understand we're connected to them. Okay, let's take a deeper look here. So I get it again. Chant inward down to your heart. It's almost now like a tube, like a candy cane shape going down to the heart from the throat. Don't settle for less. This could refer to a job where you're, "Well, I'll take a little bit of income. I haven't done this ever before." Don't settle. Say to them, this is what I charge. Will that work for you? And if not, how can we work that out? Right? Find other ways to negotiate or to get what you need. Don't compromise yourself. The reason is you're showing universal energy. I believe in myself and I'm not going to put myself second anymore. And I'm not asking for too much. I'm not being arrogant or pushing too far, but I deserve this amount. That's what feels right to me. And I'm going to stand behind it. Even if they say no, now the universe knows that's what I'm after. That's what I desire. That's what makes me feel I've made it or I'm operating at the level at which I can at this moment. It's powerful. That's expansion. Everything we want is about expansion. Okay. Because then we become a magnetized leader. And boy, things get amazing from there. It says, regard yourself and then rewrite your story. Nice time feels like this is going to continue all the way into July, where we're writing down things that we feel about ourselves and what we prefer. And then we might change a little bit. You know what? I'm going to level that up one level, or I'm going to level this now up 8 levels. I'm realizing I'm more and more than I thought I was. We're not going to play small right off the bat. We're going to jump in and play at the highest level at which we can. And we're going to, when I say expect that, we're going to know that that is synonymous with who we are. So it will meet us. And I say this in my work is that we don't want to have expectations. We want expectancy. So you think of a mother who's pregnant and she's the first time having a baby and she's excited, but she doesn't even know what's coming, right? Like what the birth will be like. But the excitement and the expectancy override the fear. That's why it's powerful. Expectations are all about fear. It's, well, I expect you to be this. It's control. So expectations are the way to go here. Okay. The message is transfer onto somebody else how you see yourself. So you might think, or you might have somebody come into your life who is very much like you. Their mannerisms, their choice of words, the way that they act. And you might look at it and think, yuck, I don't like that. And it's not that you don't like yourself, it's that you don't like somebody being so much like you. You want to be in a world of variety and differences. And so there's this relational piece of seeing yourself from outside of yourself and understanding, are you being who you really are? And the second piece is recognizing what type of different experiences do you want to have in your life? And who does that include? If you want to go to Africa, you might say, how would I ever get there? Right? You might think, well, maybe I'll take a tour, or maybe I'll see if I can solo travel, or what country would that work best in for me? But you start to get the ideas put together. And then once you find out what the possibilities are, you can start to say, this is my preference with that, and move in slowly. That's how that feels, that energy. Move in slowly. Okay. And satisfy the itch. Right now, we're in a time with the physical body where we want to be careful what we're eating and what we're doing, especially addictive behavior in eating. We want to be careful about only eating junk food or feeling like, oh, I just need a piece of chocolate, and then we eat the whole bar. We can have chocolate, but if our body is saying just one piece, we need to stick to that. And the other piece of that is letting go of needing more, because you don't. And that's tricky for us. We're used to high drive, coffee society, do this, do that. I was in Ireland and I ordered a very big Starbucks coffee. And this man was walking toward the area to wait for his coffee. And he looked at it and he thought, oh my gosh. Well, little does he know that's 3 coffees for me. So I drink a third. I'm like an old lady. And then I take it home and put it in the fridge. And I'll have a third the next day and a third the next day. And it's cheap, right? 3 coffees for whatever. Not that that's cheap, but so we want to think about how we break it down. Let's take a look and go deeper with this. There's a cavalier message. Surrender to yourself, surrender to others, do whatever you want to do. Who cares? I don't know. It doesn't matter. Those statements are harmful. They dismantle what you are. And I know this firsthand. I just went round and round with this with somebody in my own life. And we need to stop saying, I don't know, I would just whatever, that it's better to just calmly say, I don't know. I don't have that answer for you. And that's enough. That's okay. Right? That's okay. Stop being under the gun of your own thumb. Oh, that's a tough one, but it makes a lot of sense. Stop being under that thumb because you're only harming yourself. That could be proving yourself to others. It could be in comparing yourself to others. All of those can be tricky. And it comes up again, gently, gently. Go gently, gently. Go easy with yourself. This isn't a sprint. This is a long race. And you need endurance. And so go gentle and continue that pattern of gentle. It's important. We live in such a harsh society in our world society. Drive, get this, have that, push this. It's a lot. It's a lot. And there are words, pretend that you don't know better. It's like an old woman who's, I don't know, I just thought that those tea bags were for free. And she took 8 of them, right? And put them in her purse for the future. That sometimes when we just play, I don't know, I didn't know that we can get away with things. And it's not about sneaking or getting away with things, but it's more maybe pushing into that childlike, I'm going to try this out and see how this works out, cause and effect. I'm going to see if I can influence that and how that would look. What would that be about? So take a peek at that in your life. What is it that you'd want to do? Is there something sneaky that you'd want to do that would be funny? And is there something that would be kind of silly and sneaky? It's not to show off. Is there something that you want to do that's kind of sneaky and silly, not to show off in front of your friends and make them laugh, but for you? And then 2 days later, your friend opens your purse to get something from it because you ask them and they say, "What are all these tea bags doing?" And you say, "I just had a hankering." And it's not about stealing, it's about that playful, unexpected, or you're at a party and somebody's like, "I want some tea." And you say, "I have all this tea in my purse. Check it out. What do you want?" It's that. It's like, the magic of, I'm to take that. I'm going to need that. I even remember I was in New York at a conference and I was with a woman who we were both there together for her business. And then there was a man who we ate dinner with him. And I said to him, "I'm going to give you this $20 bill." And he's like, "Why?" And I said, "I don't know, but I can sense that you're going to need it tomorrow and you're going to have a hard time getting cash. And I don't know why." And he's like, "No, don't give it to me." And then later the next day we saw him and he said, "I did need that $20 bill." It was a mess. I was trying to buy flowers for my table and I needed them for the certain thing to match the certain thing. And they were $20 even. And I couldn't get to a cash machine and it was such a mess. If I had had that 20, I would have been out of there in 2 minutes. And I said, "See, you got to listen. When somebody knows, you got to listen." The woman that was with me looked at me and said, "My gosh, look at what you know." We do know. So trust that, right? There's a red flag when you say to somebody, "Here, take this $20 bill," and they say no. What's going on there? And there's this sense about picking up the pieces. Just from that exact statement of the $20 bill and somebody says no, it's okay to say no, of course it is. And no, maybe we don't want that. But that we have a lot of pieces where we said no, we actually did need the help. We actually did need the support to move through it. And we denied that within ourselves. And now we're going to pay the price a little bit where we need to say, "Hey, I have these needs. Can you meet them?" And the person might say, "No, I know I just have something where I reached out to 3 people and said, 'Can you help with this?' And one of them already said no. And another is on the fence. And the other one said, 'I'm not sure I'm qualified.' And I said, 'I think you are. But one of the 3 will work out. I know that, to support me in this thing that I'm doing." We want to go there. We want to ask for the support that we need in small ways. It doesn't have to be anything big. Okay. And this is about divining your inner voice. So it could mean several things, but I think the main point here is we're almost using our body as a conduit to say, "Let me show up in this moment saying exactly what I want to say, even if I don't mean this in a bad way, but does harm, meaning it tells the relationship I'm done here. Or if it shows us confusion and it made it almost worse to say something, that confusion might just be the precipice to crack something open and move it to the next." So be open to the possibility of what you're doing and let the full piece play out. Some of us are going through massive transitions right now, and we're seeing things that we think, "Oh my gosh, it seems like that person always has the leg up. Everything's going well for them." Could be. But in truth, we're working on something so groundbreaking inside of ourselves, and we can't see it because it's too dirty. It's too hard to see still, that we want to continue that process and trust we're in process, and that's okay. And I know that sounds like a trite phrase, "we're in process." I get it. And indeed, we are. We're in it right now. Okay. And it shows up as taking a new path, that there are 3 paths ahead of us, and we can take one to the left, to the center, or to the right. Now, I'll tell you that the one in the center is the more powerful path. That's where our power resides. To the left, it's femininity, and to the right, it's masculinity. And masculinity in the workplace is where we've been. Femininity is more where we're going to come in. We're going to have more community-based, more creativity, more collaboration in the workplace. That will eventually change to that. But if we're moving into that power, we want to also accept that the possibility with that is we're going to get a little bit of fire, because it's going to shape us to say, "Are you ample for this? Are you able to be in your power, state it, convey it, hold it within yourself so that people can feel it?" Can we do that? Otherwise, we might choose Masculinity would be more, this is what we've done in the past. Femininity might be, I'm forging my own path. I'm going to be entrepreneurial, or I'm going to try this out. We're going to go slower. We might ask for more collaboration. It's going to be different. So check those avenues out to make a choice that's different for your life. Okay. Surrender to the person that is in the seat that you want to be in. So if you have your eye on a job, you want to surrender to that. I don't know how to get that job. I don't know how to be skilled in the way that they are, and I'm going to learn how. I'm going to be open to that possibility and the potential, and I'm going to do it the way that I am built. And I'm going to find confidence to be that, right? We're surrendering to that situation. Really, all it's saying is, I don't know, and I will know. And when I know, I will be a powerhouse in that knowing. Mark that one down. Okay. And set yourself up to win. That one makes me feel a discomfort in my stomach when that wording comes up. So there might be this ill effect of, oh, how do I do that? I'm tired of carrying it all on my own. There might be some loneliness in it. Ask for support. Ask for that. I run a community called the Circle of Knowing. That would be a place to find support. Other people run communities too. Or you get a group of friends together and say, I need support through this part of my journey. I'm scared, or I'm struggling, and or I don't know how to do this. And do you know anybody who knows this or that? So that you can support that process of where you're headed by asking others how they did it, what classes they took, what school they went to, what was the program that's most accepted, right? We're moving into things that are uncomfortable, but possible, highly possible for us because it's already in us. Okay, let's get a go ahead and do that. I keep getting the word channel, which is not my favorite word because a channel is actually somebody who brings the entity into their body and they leave their body. And we know this because their voice changes, their body mannerisms change. You can tell effectively they aren't in there. And I only know a few people who can channel. It's super rare. So when we say channel, that's why I'm curious why this is coming up, but the word channel is there. And I'll point out reading energy, like I'm doing, is not channeling. I'm simply reading it like it's a book. And it says, try for it, try for it, try for it. So I think more what it's saying is open yourself to that place where you can receive information and find how that works for you. How do you feel it? What's the way it comes through? How does it work? How does it work for you? That's you coming home to some extent, is your uniqueness in how you're intuitive. And I've had some people go wild with it, like all sorts of things, all sorts of directions. But what we really want is everybody expressing on it in their own way, because that's the potential for us to expand into who we truly are in it and grow. And it's important that it's your unique way because that's what brings a puzzle piece for humanity together. So we want that. We want it to be your way, even if it starts off super funny and wild and playful and strange. That's okay. You'll move into what is more true and more true and more true once you get a grasp of it more fully. But at the beginning, it might be kind of almost seem silly, or am I making this up? Or I don't even get how this is working. It's likely you never will understand how it works, and that's also okay. That's something I looked at deeply for years, and I did figure out how it works and why it works the way that it does. That was powerful. That might be a question you ask yourself when you're in it for a while, and then see what your answer is. Be interesting to see if our answers are similar or very different. Kind of interesting. Okay. But it comes up, don't take other people's word for it. Know for yourself. And if you know for yourself, you're not going to say, well, I know this, because that's you enforcing your idea on somebody else. It's more, quiet. I know for myself, and I don't have anything I need to share. There's no drama or this is how it works, or this is what it might be that didn't work for me, or this worked very well for me. You figure that part out. You see how that works with you. Okay. And trial and error and trial and error. I think that this is going to help lead us to that pathway to feminine, masculine, or to our power. Is any which way we're going to end up on a path that's going to lead us forward. That's great. But then we're looking at how does that invigorate into something greater? That's the most simple, succinct way for us to live our lives and express who we are. Okay, I'm going to leave it at that. Thanks for joining me today. Please like, comment, share, and get the word out there to your friends, because I would like to share this message more. And that happens by having it propagate and moving it further and forward. Thanks.